I like to think I'm kinda tough. Second without your love, no, I like to think I'm kinda tough. Sometimes I feel invincible. I feel like I got the right stuff. I feel like I'm in control. Until you got inside my head with something new. Now I can't sleep in this bed just thinking about how I'd be lost without you. You're gonna take me out. 'Cause I can hold my breath under the water. Yeah, I can take the pain, it doesn't bother me. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. Lock me outside, leave me in the cold. Abandon me here, feed me to the walls. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. Emotional support. I fight my demons one by one just for the sport. Oh, but I've been slipping lately. You got me going crazy. Now I'm down on my knees outside your door. There's no words. Got me searching for the right adjective of verb. Now I can't sleep in this bed just thinking about her. I'll be lost without. There's no doubt it's gonna bring me down. 'Cause I can hold my breath under the water. Yeah, I can take the pain, it doesn't bother me. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. Lock me outside, leave me in the cold. Abandon me here, feed me to the walls. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. I can take the pain, it doesn't bother me. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. Lock me outside, leave me in the cold. Abandon me here, feed me to the walls. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love.
So handsome, oh you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. No one makes me feel like you do, and no one sets my body on fire.
and one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. But I'm scared as hell, and there's just no way to know how this goes. And I can't help but say, trusting why you are so beautiful. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me.
that you deny me. Losing this game, I can't afford to be losing this game. And I know you're the safest bet. Losing my mind, can't find the words, no, I can't seem to find what I'm really trying to get. Reason right, let's take our time and choose. Whether we dip or yellow, whether we dip or shallow. Please me now, cause we're about to lose. Whether we buy or hello, whether we step or jello. I gotta move and make amends, but can't go through the same regrets. It could feel so good on mine. Not about love, I gave. And I know you're the safest bet.
Deep up in my feelings. Here I go again. We just keep on repeating. Here we go again.
I'm so tired, so fed up of you messing with my buzz. You shut down, had enough. I'm just looking for that rush. I'm so tired, so fed up of you messing with my buzz. Locking eyes, we just touch. Feel our bodies drifting up.
I don't know how to be around you. I'm just trying to lose myself. I know that I just can't trust you, but you know me like no one else. Stuck up in the middle, in between you and I. Maybe just a little bit to get me by.
I'm so tired, so fed up of you messing with my buzz. You shut down, had enough. I'm just looking for that rush. I'm so tired, so fed up of you messing with my buzz. Locking eyes, we just touch. Feel our bodies drifting up.
I don't know how to be around you. I'm just trying to lose myself. I know that I just can't trust you, but you know me like no one else.
Dance.
But you know me like no one else. You know me like no one else. I don't know how to be around you. I'm just trying to lose myself. I know that I just can't trust you, but you know me like no one else. You know me like no one else.
My mind is a minefield. Watch your step, that's not a threat, no. My heart is a house of cards. They had those shaky hands, they let me fall apart. And I know it shows, yeah. You keep me on my toes, yeah. Just one more song, yeah, yeah. Play it till I'm gone. When I start sinking, all my demons start creeping in. When I start breaking, will you be waiting? Pick me up and put me back together again. See what I see, yeah, you could save me.
Okay, so I can talk. Okay. Done. Okay, I'll try not to cough. All right. Hello, everybody. It's 10 a.m. Good morning. Good morning. I can see the chat as we're going, so I'm just gonna monitor that for now as we're going. We're gonna wait a little bit, 5 minutes into the stream. We're just gonna wait for everyone to kind of pile in and start watching. Can we get some like hellos in the chat so I know that you guys are there? Woo, we got a woo from Dayton Abbott. I see. Hello. Oh, there's my face. Yes. And Tanner Hill. Hey, give me a hello if there's anyone out there, anyone who's listening, and if you can hear my voice. And also just so I know that like the stream is going okay and you can hear me. Otherwise, yeah, no, I hope everyone is having a really, really good morning. And you know, you're having your breakfast. Yeah, and just some, you know, kind of disclaimers. Oh, thank you, Nick Ross. Thank you. I think I know who that is. That's a note from third year. I don't know if I've just like exposed your identity to everybody, and you know now now it's all over for you. But sorry about that. I might have just done that. I'm just gonna move past this bit for a little bit. Just a little bit of a disclaimer for just chat etiquette for streaming in case it's just not something that you're familiar with. Just be respectful in the chat. We're gonna be, you know, showcasing the work of people. Hey, we're getting some hellos. Anyway, sorry. We're gonna be showcasing the work of some people from the 4th year program and the Broadcast Media Studies program. And we just want to be respectful, be generally quite, like, just be positive, no negative comments. Obviously also no racism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, just any hate comments, just try to stay away from that, and yeah, and just generally be respectful and stuff. And otherwise, let's have a good time. Definitely, like, you know, show some love to the projects as they go up, because that's always encouraged. So it's a good time. So yeah, I see the hellos in the chat. I think there's some latency that's going on. We're trying to have it be as synchronized as possible, but yeah, like I think it's coming on a little bit later, like than I'm saying this stuff. So there might be a little bit of a delay. So yeah, thanks Gareth. Keep it clean, everybody. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, we're getting a hellos from also Gareth Wenzel. You all know the man, the myth, the legend, the one who's you know, kept this class going along with Alana, and I don't know, he's been a pretty great addition to the faculty. And oh my goodness, okay, so we have Tanner. Hello Tanner. Hello Elijah. Hi Doug Vale. Morning from BC. Oh my God, it must be beautiful there, isn't it? And then, and yes, oh my God, we have Sally Haney as well. Hello, hi Sally. Welcome to the stream. Oh, glad to see you here. Really glad to see you around. So, I'm just, I don't know, have fun. Yeah. Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have you guys like come in and support. It's definitely such a great time. It's a really great tradition that was started. Yeah, like it was a great tradition that was started last year. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that at 10:05 a.m. And yeah, sorry if my voice is just a little bit a little raspy, a little I don't know, a little gone. I'm a little bit sick. So if it gives out, we have a backup for that. So don't worry about it. Hi Sally. But yeah, all right. Okay, so yeah, so now it's 10:05 and we're gonna get started here. So hello, good morning. Welcome everyone to the official Student Showcase Class of 2021, and that's the official name for it. And we're gonna do some land acknowledgement just because of where this is streaming from and where MRU is based. So in the spirit of respect, reciprocity, and truth, we honor and acknowledge Makinstis and the traditional Treaty 7 territory and oral practices of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, as well as the Stoney Nakoda and Tsuut'ina nations. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. Finally, we acknowledge all nations, Indigenous and non, who live, work, and play on this land, who honor and celebrate this territory. And with that, hello, my name is Diana DeGracia. We also have Ryan Yip running this stream, so he's also like listening in. We all like kind of got together with the help of John and Anoke, also in the chat. Say hi if you are there. But yeah, we also got together with the help of them once we realized that Garrett's computer wasn't working and the stream wouldn't go on. So no worries, we're here. Don't worry about it. So just a little bit of a rundown of how this whole thing is going to go down. So we're going to be playing your projects one after the other. Some of you guys have introductions and some do not, and that's all good. And we prepared this literally like last night. So just in case there's like no warnings in certain introductions, I'm just going to give out like a little disclaimer for mature content, a mature content warning, so like coarse language, implied violence, gore, and possibly lightsabers, so watch out for that. And yeah, just in case I'm not able to give a description, I wasn't able to like go through every video. I'll try my best to give out warnings for some of the videos that I was able to watch and didn't have the introductions. So I'll do my best in case there's like any sensitive content that you can just watch out for. You can also access the program in the description. So if you're one of the people who placed a video into this like placed a project, I guess, into this showcase, then you can access it to see when you'll be coming up, and there will also be timing, so you'll know, like, I don't know, like you can use that knowledge to your benefit. And then there will also be an intermission of about 20 minutes around lunchtime. So right after Doug Vale's project, it'll be around like 12:20, 12:30. But yeah, other than that, make sure to utilize the chat, support your friends, give them like a heart shape. Oh, thanks, Makayla. Thank you again for doing this again, guys. This looks amazing, and you only did this last night. Yeah, we put it together last night. I guess you could say we're stream experts. I don't know. Not really experts, but I don't know. We've got some experience under our hands because we have gamer friends, and some of the people here are gamers, so it's kind of useful in that way. But yeah. Anyway, so let's get started without further ado, you know. It's 10:08. Let's do this, guys. So first coming up, we have Kinga Brassay by Yasmin Zaky. So this is a 13-minute piece. It's an interview on interior design, and as far as I know, Yasmin came from an interior design background. So we're gonna learn a lot about you know, what goes into interior design, and I think it's gonna be really interesting stuff. So yeah, let's start off our day with a little bit of King of Brassay, and yeah, let's cue it up, Ryan.
Hello everyone. Today I have a very special guest. She's an interior designer and a visual artist based in Calgary, Kinga Brassay. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm really excited to talk more about your projects and how you combine visual art and interior design into your work.
Thank you for the invitation, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, so tell me more about your background. How did interior design start with you?
I grew up in an artistic background, having artist parents, so for me it was just something natural that later on I'm gonna do something related to art. But I was 13-year-old when I wanted to become a fashion designer, and I remember that everyone around me was saying that, okay, how lucky you are that you already know what you want to become. And it wasn't that easy because I grew up in communism and everyone said that who needs a fashion designer, right? So then I had to give up that dream, and later on, a few years later, I discovered my passion towards interior design, and I was really happy that when I realized that, well, even if it's not fashion design, but it's design, right? So something similar, and I'm happy, very happy with the profession that I chose.
How did the transformation from fashion to space design happen?
It happened very easily, an interesting way. I opened a clothing store years ago, and I did the interior design of it by myself, and I had people waiting in front of the door to ask who the design of the store was. And that was such a great feeling for me. So when I could see that people like my design, and that's how I was discovered by the owner of the next store as well, next to us, and she asked me to do their interior design as well. And then one project led to another, and the rest is just history.
For most people, they have a misconception that interior design is the same as interior decorating. What would you have to add to that?
Yes, good question. So I think it's time to clarify that, right? So
Yeah.
there's a huge difference between being an interior decorator and an interior designer, and the difference will be in education. So to become an interior designer, you have to have education, especially in Canada. And to become an interior decorator, anyone can become an interior decorator if you have good taste, a good style, right? So you don't have to do more than just pick fabrics and accessories and things like that. But when you become an interior designer, you're gonna be involved in much more than just accessories and all kind of finishes. So it's really important to have the technical skills as well. So that's why you need education for that.
So Kinga, you are working internationally on projects as well, other than than Calgary. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
So how did COVID affect that, if at all?
Good question. I know that COVID has affected lots and lots of interior designers. I can talk about my situation. I started to work online on online projects a few years before all this COVID hit. So because of that, I wasn't affected that much. So I could just continue however I started before that, right? So I just continued everything online. And especially with today's technology, is really easy to do that today, and I'm really happy for that.
So your work usually includes visual. So you're a visual artist / interior design. Tell us more about your paintings as well.
Yes, I'm very happy that I could do both of them in the same time, right? So you don't have to just say no to one profession just to keep the other one. And I'm very, very happy that I can do both in the same time, right? So interior designers are gonna always need paintings. So why not to include my own creations, my own paintings into those interior spaces? And that's what I really would like to focus more in the future.
So I'm sure in your career you face a lot of challenges. What are the challenges that face you in working as an interior designer?
I think sometimes the biggest challenge is to work with people, because we are so different, right? And
Right.
yeah, sometimes it's not easy, but I think the key is to have good communication skills. That's very important, and then you will be able to treat every kind of situation, right? And interior design, even if you're working by yourself, it's still a teamwork, right? So you have to continuously talk to all kinds of professionals. So again, we are going back to communication. So I think if you're good at that, then you can handle every kind of challenge and every kind of situation.
Yeah. What do you think interior design is going to look like after COVID is over? Is the industry going to change at all, or is it going to continue the same going forward?
I can talk about my own experience in this case, right? And I think that as I see that all this online working, it works beautifully. How I feel and how I see the future, I think that more and more interior designers are gonna lean towards that. And I think more interior designers just wanna keep themselves safe in a way that, okay, what if again something like this will happen, right? Then what do we do? So just to prepare themselves, and then I think more and more professionals are gonna just keep doing this online working and online, just taking up online projects and everything.
An advice that you would give someone who has zero knowledge about interior design, if they want to renovate or, have some quick touches in their space, what would you advise them to do?
Well, the easiest way to do a big change is to change the wall colors. Playing with the wall colors can affect the whole space in so many different ways. So let's just say you can make a space look bigger, or you can make a space look smaller just by changing the wall colors.
Playing with the color psychology?
Yes, exactly. So that would be one thing that I would definitely highly recommend. And then another thing would be to change the accessories. And change the accessories in a way that even if they're gonna get bored after a while, those are not gonna be hard to be replaced later on as well. So, but bigger pieces like furniture, right, they are always harder to replace and change them.
What's your favorite furniture piece?
I wouldn't say that I have only one. I love designers, all kinds of different designers. What I would like to mention that I love more unique things, just how I like to dress up in a more unusual, unique way. That's what I like to do in my interior design spaces as well. So I always talk about this, like I like to just leave my signature there.
Like
and
a
that's what
statement item.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the same with furniture pieces. And everything that's around me. So that's just my way of being or my style when I work.
Yeah. What inspires you? How do you get inspired right now with your designs?
This is a really good question, and I am asked very often about this. You always have to challenge yourself, right? To be inspired, right? To be with open eyes wherever you go, right? To be curious, just like a child, because you can get inspiration from everything, like from weirdest things as well, right? And then you can use it in your works.
Going backwards a little bit, your childhood or your background. Tell us more about your background and how that shaped your passion for interior design.
Well, how I started it was that I opened a clothing store years ago, and I did the interior design of it. And then before we opened the store, we already had people standing in front of the door and waiting to ask who the interior designer was. And then it was me, right? So it was such a great feeling to know that people like my design. And actually that's how it really started. And after that, the neighbor next door, so the owner of the store, asked me to do their interior as well. And of course I was happy to do it, and then the rest is just history, right? So one project after the other.
The word
and
spreads.
That's how I started.
So going back to your journey, where do you think you're at now with your career? And so COVID has not affected interior design as an industry.
Not me. I mean, I cannot talk about anyone else, because as I said, I was lucky in a way that I started all this online working much more before COVID started, and I did not even know about that, right, that it's going to happen. But I cannot talk about anyone else who only did a local design, for example, right? So I'm sure that that was a completely different situation. But I could see that being in this bad situation, right, that everyone hates, and we are just so over it already, I had so many new possibilities. And actually I also started to teach online in New York as well, and then it started all during COVID, right? So we just got new opportunities, and then we said, yeah, why not, right? Let's try it. And then I have students from all over the world again, right? So I have from Argentina, I have from Japan, I have from Brazil, and in the same time, of course, different time zones, so sometimes that's the hardest thing to just adjust to make sure that everyone can stay awake. But it works beautifully. I think it's just an adjustment, and it's just like with every new situation, right? We are just a little bit scared at the beginning that how this will work. And even with moving online to online teaching, right, from on-site, at the beginning it was difficult, I'm not going to lie. But after a few weeks, it just started to clarify everything, and actually now I really like it and I really enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Well, Kinga, that was very, very interesting. Learned a lot about interior design for sure. I hope people got to know more about the difference and more about it. And thank you so much for your time. It was very nice.
All right, and that was Kinga Brassay, the interview with Yasmin Zaky. I'm not sure if she's still in the chat. At the moment, but it was a really, really cool interview. I really liked what she said about, just learning a lot and, having many different kinds of opportunities from the COVID situation, because I'm pretty sure this is what we're all feeling right now. We've all learned quite a bit over the past year, and now that it's coming up to a year, it's been a lot, that's for sure. I'm not gonna say it's all good or all bad, but it's been a journey, that's for sure. So coming up next, we have Dark Confessions, and this is kind of like a psychological horror short film by Ryan Dickie. This one is 9 minutes long, and yeah, it's gonna be, that said, I'm not gonna give any spoilers. Just couple of content warnings or trigger warnings. So just be sure to, watch yourself if you are easily traumatized by these things. But there's like some dark themes like implied sexual harassment, violence, murder, kidnapping. They show some like depictions of blood, not real blood, that's for sure, but just blood. So be sure to watch out for that. And yeah, enjoy. Let's cue this up. I'm really excited.
Morning.
Good morning.
Still want to go to the Christmas market?
Yeah, we can go later. I have a few errands I have to run, a few things that I've been meaning to get to before the season starts.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just stay home and do laundry or something.
Okay. We'll meet up later then.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm not sure where to start. I've never really done this before. But it's been a long time coming. I guess it started when I realized that I was different. I wasn't like anybody else growing up. I sometimes get out of control, I'm quick to anger, and that can lead to bad things happening sometimes. Last weekend, I went out with some friends and I left the bar early. And this guy came up to me and was hitting on me, and I told him to leave me alone and he didn't listen. I asked multiple times, but he was so persistent until he had me up against the wall. And I didn't know what to do, so I just reached into my purse and I grabbed the first thing that I could find. It's my keys. I stabbed him as hard as I could. He was on the ground, screaming, and I liked it. There was a bottle on the ground, and I picked it up and I broke it, and I started stabbing him over and over and over again. The scream slowly started to turn into faded gargle, and then finally nothing. He was dead, just laying there. Felt good. I had all the power. And I wish that was all. Last night, I started getting this funny feeling again, deep in my stomach. My husband was at work and I was all alone in the apartment. It was just so quiet. I didn't mean for it to be her. But when I looked into the hall, all I saw was Abby. She lives next door to me. I knew what I had to do. I invited her in, and I made it quick for her. It was quick, I swear. Then I had to sneak out her body. I had to cut her up. It was for the best. There was nothing else I could do. It was the nice thing to do. I know it was. I didn't want to break her bones. I took her remains and I buried them in the woods. I don't think there's much left. I'm here because I need help. I'm getting the feeling back again. I'm coming to repent for my sins. I don't want to hurt anyone. I'm truly sorry.
It's done.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so.
All right, and that was Dark Confessions by Ryan Dickie. Yeah, as Sally Haney said, a little dark for 10 a.m., that's for sure, but still very compelling and very, very interesting. I just love the shots and how he used like certain locations in Calgary. I'm not sure if I recognize some of those, but like they're very like Calgarian sort of landscape, so that's very interesting and very cool. And yeah, I don't know, it's just absolutely beautiful. And like, I don't know, those actors and actresses, like, very, very good job. I really enjoyed that. So thank you for such a great job there, Ryan Dougie. That was amazing. All right, and then coming up next, I won't do the intro for this because Robert has done it for himself. So yeah, I'll just have you take it away. So this is Dance the Demons Away, a little short film by Robert, and he's gonna give you a little introduction a little bit. So yeah, let's cue that up, Ryan.
Hey peeps, it's Robert here. You're about to watch my new dance music video. So in this video, there's a girl and she struggles with a lot of insecurities and inner demons. And she's basically holding herself back from doing what she loves. So she has to prove to herself that she can do anything she wants in form of dance. And you'll see that these inner demons are kind of controlling her. So I hope you guys like it. It's called Dance the Demons Away.
Loser. Why do you even bother? You're no good. You can't do anything right. No one likes you. You can't dance.
Yes, I can.
It's funny.
Faster.
All right, that was Dance the Demons Away by Robert Lindgren. Lindgren, sorry. That was a little bit of a short one, but oh my goodness, that was so cool. I was just absolutely blown away by those transitions, and the concept was so interesting. I don't get to see like the last few parts of it because I have to like come on and there's like a little bit of latency. But oh my goodness, that dancer is, I don't know, she's pretty cool, eh? Like, oh my goodness, some love to her. Like she was like moving in a way that I could never move my body. So, dang, that's amazing. So thank you. Well done on that project there, Robert. All right, and then we're gonna queue up our next one. This one is Runners Up by Peter Roman, and you'll recognize this guy from Moments of Genius, the 4-year running podcast that has just ended last week. But yeah, this was on CMRU.ca where he talks about sports. And now he's taking it on in this like documentary, this mini documentary called Runners Up. And he talks about the Arizona Cardinals at the 2008 Super Bowl. So yeah, enough said about there. He's gonna talk a little bit more about it. Let's just cue that up, and yeah, you'll see what he's all about.
In 2008, the Arizona Cardinals were on the verge of something historic. Despite going 9-7 in the regular season, the Cardinals have made it all the way to the Super Bowl. With players like Larry Fitzgerald, Darnell Dockett, and Kurt Warner leading the way, the Cardinals look primed for success. With all that talent on the field, how did this Arizona Cardinals team finish runners-up? In order to talk about the 2008 Arizona Cardinals, we need to go back a bit, specifically to the 2004 draft class. The Cardinals selected Darnell Dockett, Carlos Dansby, and Larry Fitzgerald. All three of these players would turn into major contributors on the team. The team also had an interesting dilemma at quarterback. Kurt Warner has one of the most remarkable stories of any NFL player. Warner went undrafted in 1994. After being released by the Packers during a tryout, Warner started stocking shelves while working as an assistant coach in northern Iowa. He would later go on to play in the Arena Football League, making first-team All-Arena in his first 2 seasons. In 1997, Warner got his break. The St. Louis Rams signed Warner to a futures contract, and after playing a season in NFL Europe, Warner earned the third-string quarterback job with the Rams. He would then be given an opportunity to start. In 1999, starter Trent Green suffered an ACL injury that ended his season. Warner would lead the Rams to 2 Super Bowls, winning the first one and losing the second one. Warner was eventually released by the Rams, and after a short stint with the New York Giants, he ended up with the Cardinals. Warner's time with Arizona wasn't the smoothest. Warner's first season was masked by injuries with the Cardinals. In 2006, he was actually benched for Matt Leinart after a 1-3 start to the season. In 2008, the Arizona got off to a good start, and that's pretty much as good as it would get for them. The Cardinals got 6 turnovers on defense, and their offense was able to score 30 unanswered points en route to a very comfortable 33-13 victory. So Arizona found themselves hosting an NFC Championship game, after Philadelphia made it as the 6th seed, beating the New York Giants in the divisional round. Larry Fitzgerald got the crowd going early with his touchdown to begin the game. After some trickery and deceit, the Cardinals scored another touchdown thanks to Larry Fitzgerald, and later in the half, you guessed it, another touchdown from Larry Fitzgerald catching a goal line fade in the end zone. Arizona led in large part thanks to Fitzgerald 24-6 at halftime. The Eagles would finally score a touchdown with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter to cut the lead down a little bit, but it was a second touchdown by Brent Selleck that would begin to scare Cardinals fans everywhere. The score was now 24-19, and after another unsuccessful Arizona drive, it was Donovan McNabb to Deshaun Jackson stunning the Cardinals and putting Philadelphia in the lead 25-24. Arizona was unfazed and put together a fantastic drive of their own, finished off by a screen pass to Hightower to put the Cardinals back in the lead. But they needed a defensive stop. With 1:57 left in the fourth quarter, the Eagles had the ball right around midfield. Donovan McNabb was under pressure from the Arizona blitz, and he threw it to the right-hand side for Curtis. The pass from McNabb came intended for Curtis right about here. Curtis dropped it, ending the Eagles' season. Arizona was off to the Super Bowl for the first time ever. For Cardinals fans, the win in the NFC Championship game meant so much. This fan base was used to losing, they were used to not having any kind of success, they weren't even used to making the playoffs. But now they had their team with their guys right on the doorstep of a Super Bowl trophy. Arizona's Super Bowl opponent was the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers had won Super Bowl 40 in 2006 against the Seattle Seahawks. They also had Mike Tomlin, who won Coach of the Year this season, and so Arizona knew they were in for a tough matchup. I don't think anyone could have predicted the actual game that these two teams would produce, though. Pittsburgh got off to a good start with a rushing touchdown from Gary Russell, and they had a 10-0 lead at the beginning of the second quarter. Arizona got a touchdown of their own, with Kurt Warner finding Ben Patrick in the end zone to make the score 10-7. Not exactly the star names finding the end zone to start, but in a Super Bowl, you take what you can get. Later in the second half, Carlos Dansby intercepted Ben Roethlisberger, giving Arizona a chance to take the lead going into halftime. What happened next would be one of the most significant defensive plays in Super Bowl history. With 18 seconds left in the first half, Warner threw an interception at the goal line to James Harrison. Harrison then proceeded to run the entire length of the field to score a touchdown before the end of the half. Pittsburgh now had a 17-7 lead. Up to this point in history, no one had ever come back from a deficit that big in a Super Bowl. Arizona was on the ropes, and they needed to pull off an incredible comeback. The first step was making sure Pittsburgh's offense was held in check, and Arizona only gave up 3 points, meaning it was still a 2-possession game going into the fourth. In the fourth quarter, a goal line fade to Larry Fitzgerald gave the Cardinals some life, cutting the lead down to 6. Punter Ben Graham was then able to pin the Steelers at their own 1-yard line. Pittsburgh then took a holding penalty in the end zone, giving the Cardinals a safety. So the lead was now 20-16 for Pittsburgh. The next Cardinals drive included one of the all-time great plays ever seen in a Super Bowl. It was a 2nd and 10 from around the 36-yard line. Larry Fitzgerald ran a slant route, and he caught the ball around the 43-yard line. After that, he was off to the races. Fitzgerald then uses his speed to break away from the 2 Steeler defenders. It was a 64-yard touchdown to put Arizona in the lead. Pittsburgh got the ball back with about 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the game, but they needed a touchdown to win it and a field goal to tie it. On the drive, Ben Roethlisberger bought himself some time and made a couple of big throws to Santonio Holmes, setting up the Steelers inside the 10-yard line with less than a minute remaining. And on 2nd and goal with 37 seconds left, Santonio Holmes made one of the greatest catches in NFL history. Roethlisberger saw that there was 3 defenders in the area, so he had to throw it to the corner of the end zone. Holmes jumps in the air and lands on his tiptoes to make sure he got his feet in bounds. It was a beautiful piece of technique to make this catch. When Holmes made that catch, we right now are farther away from that tree than he was to the thousands of cameras capturing that amazing moment. The Cardinals got the ball with very little time left, and Lamar Woodley ended up sacking Kurt Warner, who fumbled the ball, and that ended the game. Arizona was so close to winning their first ever Super Bowl title. In the season that followed, Arizona lost to the New Orleans Saints in the divisional round. That would unfortunately be Kurt Warner's final game in the NFL. Head coach Ken Wisenhunt was fired after the 2012 season, and slowly, Arizona began to lose the players from that Super Bowl team. Even though they didn't win, the Cardinals still accomplished so much with the 2008 team. The Super Bowl appearance made Arizona relevant in the football world, and they finally had an appearance in the biggest game of them all. Thanks for watching Runners Up.
All right, and that was Runners Up by Peter Roman. I'd say I am not a big sports person. I don't like watch a lot of sports. I'm more of like I'm a little bit more nerdy than that. I'm not that cool. But if there was any way I could consume sports in a manner, I would definitely do it through Peter Roman. And I've listened to Moments of Genius before. I still don't know what's going on, but like the way that he tells stories is just so freaking engaging. Like I don't know. It was really interesting how he goes into the stories of not the victors, but the runners up, and just that story in itself is just so interesting with like the Arizona Cardinals and how they managed to get there. I don't know. It's just sports is a whole story. I just don't understand it, but through Peter Roman, I definitely can. It's just it's so interesting and so easy to consume. So well done there. That was an awesome documentary there, Peter. And yeah, awesome. And coming up next, we have a podcast, something also just as heart-lifting, by Natalie Miller-Maleschuk. This one's a 12-minute long one. It's called The Journey Within. A little bit more emotional, a little bit uplifting, some stories. I'll let her tell you all about it. So yeah, let's cue that one up, Ryan, and let's sit back and relax and watch.
I'm Natalie Maleschuk. Welcome to the Journey Within podcast. I believe all human beings have unlimited potential and are capable of achieving greatness. This podcast is a space to share the stories of people who have overcome adversities and have created an extraordinary life for themselves. I hope you feel more connected and inspired to the world around you. The Journey Within starts right now.
It took years, but now I get it. I get it all. I understand that pain is a teacher if you allow it to be. I understand that every experience has a divine purpose within it. I understand that I am the creator of my own suffering and that I can change, learn, and grow from everything that is presented in my life.
Today on the podcast is April Dawn, a yoga teacher, meditation teacher, and overall badass. I fell in love with her authenticity, and today she's sharing her journey from experiencing the loss of her parents, battling anorexia and depression, and she said she healed herself through the discovery of yoga. She is an inspiring woman who I had the pleasure of speaking to. This is April's Journey Within.
I always get nervous sharing the story, but I'm happy that you wanted to hear my story today, so thanks for having me. My yoga mat it's my safe place, my happy place. I feel alive and whole when I practice. My breath mixed with my movement is what my body needs. It's my ability to connect within and listen to what my body needs as it takes me from one pose to another. I used to look for things, people, and places to fill me up inside. I was always searching for something, and it was like I was constantly busy, but I was never productive. I was constantly surrounded by people, but always alone. Always in a relationship. I jumped from guy to guy, friend to friend, but I never felt true love. I was always eating and drinking, but I never felt full. My body constantly hurt. I was in pain every day, but I looked like a completely normal human functioning person in the world. But that's the thing. No one really knows what's going on within, and I didn't even know what was going on within. I was ashamed to be feeling this way. My family wouldn't want me to suffer like this, and that constantly played in my mind over and over again. My childhood was perfect, you could say. It was normal. I had a great life. I had everything that I wanted and needed, roof over my head. I went to school. you know, like the basics were all taken care of. My family was very close. My parents had a great relationship. We went on family trips. I was happy. I didn't have any fears. I was living a great life. It took me years, but now I get it. I get it all. I understand that pain is a teacher if you allow it to be. I understand that every experience has a deeper meaning with it. I understand that I'm the creator of what I experienced in my life and that I can change it based on what I focus on. It's what's led me to be who I am now. And I'm really grateful that I was able to have that connection within to understand why I was experiencing these things. But it took a while. My journey to myself has been different. I didn't know I was anorexic until I passed out on a city bus and I woke up in the hospital. I became anorexic after my parents' passing when I was a young girl. To me, food was comfort. It numbed out my pain, made me feel good just for 1 moment, 1 second. It's all I needed. But after consuming it, I felt disgusted with myself. I'd always feel so uncomfortable in my body, so aware of myself taking up space that I just wanted to be small and invisible in the world. I didn't want to be seen by anyone. When I felt pain, I would start to eat, but I hated that I wanted to eat because I didn't want my body to grow. I wanted to feel small. So I thought if I was small physically, my pain would get smaller. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what your mind plays. Your mind plays tricks on you when you're unhealthy. And when you're not nourishing your body with proper nutrients, your mind starts to go crazy. And I always felt shame. I always felt shame expressing that, but now I can own it and say that's how I was. I stopped eating, and if I did eat, I would force myself to throw up after. I know that's a lot of information, but it's just the truth. Eating or not gave me a sense of control over my life. It was one thing that I could obsessively focus on so that I would forget everything else going on in my life and what I was really feeling. I don't like sharing this part of my life, and I chose not to talk about the specifics of my parents' death because now I'm the complete opposite person of that girl who was suffering. But I also know that a human universal experience is that we all go through some sort of pain or trauma in our life. And so hopefully someone can connect to this in some way and know that there is a way out. And if you just look within and identify why you're feeling the way that you're feeling and not run away from it. So now I'm a complete advocate of health, mind, body, and spirit. And I really just try to own that and embody that in my everyday life by sharing this story, and I hope it inspires you because my healing hasn't been easy, and understanding why this happened to me has been a challenge, and it will always be a journey, but I've decided to embrace it. It took 5 years for me to wake up, 5 years of self-harm and not knowing how to handle my parents' death. I had great support from my friends, my family, but none of it matters when you can't be alone with yourself, with your thoughts, you know, it can be a scary place. After getting treatment for my anorexia, I was forced from my aunt and my brother. My aunt recommended that I try yoga to help calm my mind because I was very anxious after they said I was healed from my anorexia. When I say they, it was the doctors and the therapist that I went to. I didn't feel healed, but they told me I was. So I was really nervous about trying something else to help whatever was going on with me, but I was open. So I was unsure if I would even understand what yoga was because I wasn't flexible, not athletic. I didn't know what I would be up to do, like what I would be doing, nothing. So I just did it. I just thought I should try it. So I forced myself to go to a hot yoga class and I signed up and I didn't think twice about it because I knew if I did, I wouldn't go. And the one thing that I can say is, you know, when something hurts so good, it's like, what is going on? But like you're asking that question to yourself, like what's going on? But you're like, I want more. Well, that was my first class. It hurt so good and I was addicted. The room felt so hot. It's like I couldn't breathe at times. My body was so stiff and weak. I could barely hold any of my poses because I was so weak. My body physically was just, I was so unhealthy. But I was hooked. I walked out of that class like a new person. I felt alive. I felt stronger, brave. I was excited for the first times in years because I tried something different and actually followed through with it. And yoga taught me the power of breathing. I got out of my head for the first time and into my breath, and I learned to listen to my intuition, and I truly started to heal. My yoga mat quickly became my safe place. It was like therapy. I always knew when I needed to work something out, I would go to yoga. It just became this pattern of when my emotions would rise and I didn't know how to deal with it, I'd go to yoga. And yeah, like I guess we all have our things, and this is mine, and it continues to be mine. And I just want to share the message of how powerful yoga can be. It's more than just stretching on a mat. Like there's something that changes in your body when you connect with your breath and the movement. And yoga allowed me to move my energy through my body and release what no longer was serving me. It's amazing how easy it is to suppress emotions in your body subconsciously, and I was able to understand that through yoga. I watched my body physically change, and I grew stronger, but more importantly, I grew stronger mentally. My mind felt clearer every time I stepped on my mat. And to me, yoga is not just about exercising my body. It's about using the breath and movement together to create like a meditative state with the body. And it's about taking a moment for myself to connect within and to listen to my hurt, my joy, my love, my sadness, happiness, whatever I'm feeling in that day, because everything within me is here for a reason. So instead of running from it, I face it now and I learn from it, because when I learn from it, I'm able to move on. I feel like when I look back at everything that's happened in my life and even losing my parents, that led me and guided me to start my yoga journey, because without my practice, I'd probably not be living in this earth right now, because I was such in a dark place. I couldn't see out, and I needed something to help pull me out of that place. And that's what yoga did for me, and it saved my soul. And I want people to know that they can do whatever they want, and you can heal and you can get out of, whatever's happening in your life, because what you focus on continues to grow. So there's power in your focus and in your emotions. There are lessons to learn in everything, even the pain. So you can use it for good, and you can create something magical for yourself, because you really deserve it. And now I'm a yoga teacher, and I teach meditation, and I help guide people through their healing, because I think it's really important. We all go through stuff in our life, and when we're able to connect with others and to show people that you're not alone and you can face whatever you're going through. And I think that's just my main message. It's you can create a beautiful life for yourself no matter what you're going through. And it starts with your mindset, understanding your emotions, and then doing something positive, whether that be yoga, whether that be painting, I don't know, anything whatever your vice is, whatever makes you happy and brings joy into your life. So I hope that message radiates with you, and that, you can gain some positivity, clarity, joy, connection, whatever you're seeking in your life, because you can have it.
I'm Natalie Maleschuk, and you've been listening to the Journey Within podcast. Thank you for listening.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. And that was Journey Within by Natalie Miller-Maleschuk. Sorry over the names there, but dang, that was such a powerful message. And that was an amazing guest that you got on there. Like when she talked about, her struggles with eating disorders and everything. It just goes to show that, everyone kind of has their own journeys. And it doesn't matter as much as when you kind of have to fight for yourself and you have to find your own self-worth through that. And I don't know, that was just an amazing story. So thank you for sharing that. That was just really powerful. And I really hope that this podcast continues. I would love to listen to more of this stuff. So it's really nice. It's really, I don't know, my eyes were pricking with tears at that moment. That's how powerful it was. But yeah, okay. Well, speaking of self-love and self-worth and everything, we have another uplifting story coming up. This one's a short film by Mark Griffith, and this one's called No Love Lost. You'll recognize him as one of the hosts of Slap in the Bass Sports, Season 1 and Season 2, now airing on the Society of Broadcasting website. Like a really amazing podcast, really fun. It's a 12-minute film. I'll let him introduce it to you guys. And yeah, let's cue that up, Ryan.
What is up, beautiful people? I am Mark Griffith, and what you are about to watch is my independent media project, the final cut of it. Now, if you have a speaker, I'd probably suggest plugging that in, or if it's Bluetooth, hey, connect that. Why? Because it's about to be bumping. My final project is a music video. It'll have 3 songs in it, and it follows the story of a young man who was trying to find love, but ends up wanting to find something else. He wants to find some courage, some confidence, some self-esteem. Very, very powerful stuff. This project was a long time coming in the making. You could argue that it was about 4 years, but I'm very proud of what I have made, and hopefully you will enjoy it just as much as I do. Enjoy.
Oh my goodness. Ella? Ella! Hey, Ella!
Is that Mark? Mark! Hey, how are you? How's it been?
I've been doing all right, but I'm amazing now. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just getting some fresh air while Arnold fixes the car.
Oh, so you're still dating Arnold, eh? I always thought he was a bit of a clown.
Yeah, well, he's pretty sweet, and he's got his life pretty much together, so.
Oh, yeah, I see. You know, I always thought you deserved someone a little better, but I guess I'm glad you're happy. Look, I lost all the numbers in my phone not too long ago, and I was just wondering if I could get your number, you know, just so we could catch up sometime.
Sure, I'll put it in your phone.
Awesome, thank you. I guess I'll text you later then?
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to see you, Mark.
It was nice to see you too. See ya.
See you!
Yeah, she's the girl of my dreams. She makes my heart feel mega. No, I ain't being extreme, nah. Yeah, I'm talking about Ella.
I'm so jealous of a fella, cause she's so stellar. Yeah, God bless her. It's a dilemma. Or tell ya that a cappella, but I wanna get her. Wanna impress her, wanna caress her, wanna address her as mine. I'm feeling pressure, need a compressor. Love such a stressor, but I'm fine.
Yeah, she's the girl of my dreams. Yeah. She makes my heart feel mega. No, I ain't being extreme. Yeah, I'm talking about Ella. Yeah, she makes me feel better. She just like an umbrella, cause she's got for bad weather. Oh, it's Ella.
I'm so jealous of a fella, cause she's so stellar. Yeah, God bless her. It's a dilemma. Or tell ya that a cappella, but I wanna get her. Wanna impress her, wanna caress her, wanna address her as mine. I'm feeling pressure, need a compressor. Love such a stressor, but I'm fine.
Yeah, she's the girl of my dreams. Yeah. She makes my heart feel mega. No, I ain't being extreme. Yeah, I'm talking about Ella. Yeah, she makes me feel better. She just like an umbrella, cause she's off of bad weather. Oh, it's Ella.
Oh, it's Ella. I got a dilemma, cause I can't tell her it's Ella.
Man, what am I going to do about Ella? I like her so much, but I've never been able to tell anyone that I like them. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Just build up the confidence, build up the freaking self-esteem, man. You can do it. You can't do it. You've never been able to do it. You've always had these demons in your head that tell you that you can't speak your mind. You're always alone.
Yeah, I just really can't tell her, and it's not her fault, but it's mine, 'cause I got no self-esteem. Yeah, it seems I can only dream. Yeah, I got my demons, they haunt me with every step, so I'm trying to prep to get the right mindset to make a plan before I run out of time, 'cause I want her to be mine. Yeah, but you gotta see that I've never been able to say what I need to say. Yeah, I got a big flaw, I've got no confidence, my words always get stopped, can't solve a jigsaw, it's 2 minutes to midnight and I've gotta make a plan, but the worst thoughts come to my head, ones that I can't stand. Got no courage, I always worry, and I can't get over that, it's the fact that I'm always living scared, but she's just like a tic-tac, 'cause she's a fresh breath of air, but I care what they say about me, it'll always be there, even if she's not, 'cause I got feelings. The world could be ending, it could be doomsday, but I'll always feel the same, and I want that girl, it could mean the world, so I gotta get this right.
'Cause 2 minutes to midnight, I wanna get this right. Gotta get over my pride. It's 2 minutes to midnight. 'Cause it's 2 minutes to midnight. It's 2 minutes to midnight. It's 2 minutes to midnight. It's 2 minutes to midnight.
I can't do this. I've never told anyone my true feelings. Everyone likes me for staying quiet, right? Shut up. Just tell her. Even if she rejects you, you'll still gain everything. Your demons of not having any self-esteem and confidence will be gone. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, Ella, how's it going?
Oh, hey Mark, how's it going? You've met Arnold before, right?
Yeah,
Nah, I don't think so, buddy. What's up?
Oh, you know, just chilling, man. So, it's a pretty nice day in the park, eh?
Yeah, I guess. Do I look like a meteorologist to you?
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to make conversation.
That's okay, Mark. What did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, well, you know, I've been thinking. I just thought it was really nice to see you again.
Hey, buddy, just get on with it, okay? Ella and I got dinner to get to.
Shut up, Arnold. No, it's okay, Mark. Go on.
You know what? No, go away, Arnold. Take a hike, man. I've got something to say to Ella.
Look, I gotta get something off my chest that I've been wanting to tell you for some time now. I've been so far in love, been dreaming that I could be with you, that you'd be mine now. There's so many things that I want to say, like how the thought of you brightens my day, and now I just wanna call you baby. I've always had a thing for your eyes, I've always had a thing for your humor. I promise these ain't no lies, I never cap, this ain't no rumor. Oh Ella, oh Ella, it's been so long that I've wanted to tell ya. I've been so damn blue, I swear they're true. So please don't construe them in a negative way. Cause this has been so hard to say. And now I just hope you feel the same. I just hope you feel the same. Yeah, yeah.
Nah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it doesn't even matter what you say. I got over the hump. I conquered my demons. I'm liberated.
Yeah, liberated. I'm elated and my demons finally been deflated. I'm no longer gated. If I gotta say something, I can finally say it. Okay. No need to delay it. Nah. Yeah, liberated. My chest no longer weighted. My courage has been located. That's mad. I'm not frustrated. No demons at my heart. No deep cuts like serrated. No longer being dominated. No longer being regulated. No longer being nauseated. No longer being irritated. No longer being moderated. No longer being detonated. No longer being aggravated. No longer being underrated. Yeah.
That was really nice, Mark. I didn't know you felt that way. I'm sorry, Mark. I just don't feel that way about you. You're a great guy, but I just don't like you like that. It seems like you're happy, though.
You know, that's alright. Thanks for helping me open my eyes, Ella.
And thank you for helping me open my eyes. Arnold, we're done. You're a jerk. I don't ever want to see you again.
You need a hand, man?
Yeah, bro. Oh, what was that even about?
I don't know, man. You want to go get some coffee or something?
Absolutely.
Here, hop on.
It's 2 minutes to midnight. It's 2 minutes to midnight. It's 2 minutes to midnight.
All right, that was No Love Lost by Mark Griffith. Oh my gosh, heavily enjoyed that one. I did not expect it to have any music whatsoever, so I was just so pleasantly so pleasantly surprised by just like the amount of music that came in. And like these are some raw lines. Like I had to write some of them down because I was just so taken away. I really love sad songs, and like some of the really great lyrics, I will just point them out here. Just she is like a tic-tac, like a fresh breath of air. Like damn, Shakespeare, is that you? I don't know. And I don't know, it's just so cool. And like the fact that like he used like the projector and like performed in front of the projector. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Mark, but like that's like an Elizabeth Barrett Browning thing where she had like this whole theory about how lighting works. And I'm not sure if that was what was going through in your mind, but like it was really, really cool seeing like how you were like rapping and then like suddenly like a football scene comes out. I don't know, that was just so amazing, and amazing message too. Self-love, I mean, come on guys, what can be better? You can't love, like if, like as RuPaul says, you know, if you ain't gonna love anybody, like how are you gonna love anybody if you don't love yourself? I'm sure I butchered that line a little bit, but anyway, let's move on. I did mention football, so I'm gonna like do a hard segue here. We going into like football, you know, into the next one. This one is called CFL Layers, Stories of the Past. It's a podcast by Makayla Berze. You'll recognize her from More Morning, sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit today because I'm just so excited. But you'll recognize her from More Morning Coffee with Robert and Makayla on CMRU.ca. Amazing podcast from the past, but now she's doing currently Sports Talk with M&S on the Society of Broadcasting page. So yeah, big sports fan here. And Makayla, also another like amazing like you know, speaker about sports. And yeah, you can you'll learn way more about it when she talks about it. So let's cue up her podcast. This one's going to be 24 minutes. So yeah, let's grab some popcorn, sit back and relax, and let's just listen in. All right, let's go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my new podcast, CFL Players Stories of the Past. I've always really been interested in players' experiences, being a sports fan and a CFL fan in general, so I thought why not talk to some former players and talk about their time in the CFL and see what their stories are. And then when you started playing, did you have that moment where you realized that, hey, I can actually go pro? Or was that just one of your own goals that you had?
My first year, I didn't start in grade 9. And that was really tough. And then in grade 10, I started, and I would say probably by grade 12 or so, I started dreaming about going pro and wondering kind of what that would be like. And so that was something that I kind of put on the shelf and, as a target. But of course, you have no idea how things work out at that point.
And then obviously you ended up doing well. You were drafted 4th overall going into the CFL. Is that a spot that you expected to be drafted at, or were you kind of happily surprised to be taken that high?
I didn't have any experience. Obviously, this is the first time I was going through a draft. Being the eldest kid, I didn't really have anyone ahead of me to talk to me about kind of what to expect. And scouts and coaches don't usually tip their hand about where they're going to pick you. So I was surprised. I was, you sit there and you're kind of waiting and you're hoping, and it was a great situation for me.
And then you were obviously drafted to BC, which is on the other side of the country. How was it going to BC? Were you excited about the move, and how were the adjustments that you had to make?
Yeah, I was so excited. I was dying to get there. I had never been through a training camp, and going out to Kelowna, BC, where the training camp was, that was an adjustment, right? It's sort of a small town. I'm from Toronto. I didn't know what to expect as far as the process with the whole training camp, with rookies, with 2-a-days, with how coaches would evaluate you, with the level of play. So that was big. And then once I was selected, you move from training camp into the city and sort of finding a place to live, getting used to a completely different part of the country and kind of how things are. That was an adjustment, but it was one of those things that I really looked forward. I looked forward to, and it's nerve-wracking, obviously, when you're being evaluated at work, but it was a great process for me.
And can you maybe elaborate a little bit on the process for us through training camp and all that goes through it, and trying to make the team and dealing with other guys that are competing as well alongside you and balancing through friendship and work?
And that was, you don't know what to expect. I'd never been through a training camp. You go across the country. It was out in Kelowna, BC. They had rookie camp, so that was the first 3 days where all the new players coming in, you would all sort of go to camp without the vets, and then you would compete. And that was new for me. I'd never been in a competitive situation like that. Going to U of T, and I think any player really, going to college, you're on the team, whether you have a scholarship or you unless you get cut at the beginning, and there are no more cuts throughout the year. Pro football or pro sports, quite different. Any day of the week you can get cut. So the first bit was to get through rookie camp. I think there were 60 rookies in camp. At the end of 3 days, they cut 45 people, and then the vets started coming in. So then you got to start all over again, right? You're a low man in the totem pole. The reality is nobody wants you to make the team. Either they're competing against you and you're going to take their job, or you're new and your friend was on the team last year, and if you're on the team, he's not going to be on the team. So you can kind of feel alone, in the process. you're not really told how you're going to be evaluated. All you see is people disappearing every day. And, we used to have, there was a joke. So this is to give you an example of how it works. And you'll have a chance to feel kind of what, if you were a player, you would feel. So you get up, you go to breakfast, and then you go to get on the bus. What would happen was, as you're leaving, coming out of the breakfast area, if they were going to cut you, they would kind of pull you aside, right? And then say, hey, Makayla, listen, it's just not going to work out. And then they'll throw you in a car, take you to the airport, and you're gone, right? And nobody really knows it. And we used to have this thing where we'd say, oh, the Phantom got him, right? Because you'd show up to practice and he's just not there. So there was this one time I had a roommate, a great guy. This was way back. There was a lot of turmoil. They had in LA, they had the burnings, the Rodney King whole incident. There was a lot of unrest there, and he was from that area. And anyway, so I went to breakfast. We all did. I was about to get on the bus. I realized I had forgotten something. He was also running back. He was my roommate. And I went back to the room and I saw him sitting on his bed and he was crying. And he said to me, you don't understand. I've got nothing. My neighborhood burned down. My wife, my kids. This was all we had. I thought I would make the team. And, it was, you kind of see the human element to it. And then, of course, you go, okay, bye. And then you get on the bus. So, which is awful, but, it's sort of the job you're in. But it is tough, right? And then, you never see it again.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine it because it is work for you guys. It is a job. And so I don't go to work and just not expect to see someone there. I mean, times are a little bit different now, but yeah, oh my gosh. Along those lines, when you made the team, were there any rookie pranks on the BC Lions, or were they not really back then?
Yeah, it was, really innocent stuff. Like we had to put on a talent show for the vets, and they would they would evaluate you. If they didn't like it, then they might, I don't know, freeze your uniform, or something, small like that. But it wasn't anything crazy.
Gotcha. What were your emotions like before your first start? Because obviously you're a rookie, you just made the team, but when you were actually starting your first game, what were your emotions like that day?
I was excited, and I try to make it as normal as possible. Normally, when I'm getting ready for a game, like you feel so many things. You feel what you think is nerves. What I would always say to myself is excitement, right? Because if they told me, you know what, I know you're really nervous. Don't worry, we're not gonna play you. Like, I'd be really disappointed. So that was how I would gauge it. It's not nerves, it's excitement. And for me, what always worked really well for me is I needed to be hit. Like, I need to get in the game and get hit, not hurt, but hit like nice and hard, and then I'm ready to go. So I knew that would my nerves would settle down, and you just kind of go out, and you're going to be okay.
And then you had, I believe, Bobo Bilovich as your coach in BC and Toronto after Dennis Meyer got fired. What was it like playing for him on both teams? And was there anything you learned? I mean, I know those seasons you went 3-15, 2-16. What was that environment like for you?
Bob was a good man. He you go to pro, or you go to any evaluation situation, and you're not quite sure what the people in charge are going to be, but he was very fair. He used to say better is better and better will play. And as a player, you love to hear that, right? It's going to be merit-based. It's not going to be because he likes this guy or likes that guy. He was a strong leader. He was very clear on kind of what he wanted to do, sort of what was expected, and he sort of empowered the player, and he'd give you a chance. So I'll give you an example. We ran a fake, I think it was a fake punt, and it was a direct snap back to me. And we were it was 3rd and 10, I think, or something like that. So one game we ran it, and I started. The ball was slightly behind me, but catchable. I knocked it down and I fell on top of it, and of course we turned the ball over, and you know, we go to the sideline and whatever. So a few games later, he ran the same play. So there's two things. One, he was willing to give me another chance, but he called me over and he said, listen, you drop that ball again, you take your equipment off on the field and you leave the stadium. Don't even come back to the sideline. So, you know, he set the expectation, but that's what pro is about. Like, you've got to perform. And, you know, it worked out well. I scored a touchdown on that play, so.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Also, the last time we spoke, I asked you if you had a starstruck moment, and you brought up pinball. Can you just tell us that story again as well?
Yeah, pinball. He was, you know, you sort of expect what you see on TV will be quite a bit different from what the person is behind the scenes, because people have good days and bad days. But pinball is exactly the person you see, the fun-loving person. And the story I brought up was there was this time that it was on specialty teams. It was kickoff or kick return, sorry. So they kicked the ball to us. Pinball caught the ball, and he ran something like 105 yards. It might have even been longer than that. And you know, pinball, he bounces off people. He's weaving. It's not a straight line run, so it's a lot of work. And he gets into the end zone, and there's a flag, and I get this sick feeling because I know it's on me. And usually, like you've seen it on TV, quarterback, you know, angry at a receiver because he didn't run or whatever. And, you know, guys get upset. They get upset for a good reason. One, you know, a big play can change the game, obviously, and everybody wants to win. Secondly, like your contract, if you have a big return like that, like it could make a difference in your pocketbook. So I wasn't feeling good about this. And pinball said to me, after all of that, after coming off the board, after him being tired and we were going back and we had to do it over again, he said, hey, man, hey, you know what? It's okay. Don't worry, man. Just like that. And it blew my mind. Like I didn't expect it, and I hadn't seen anything like that in sport.
He's just in a league of his own and doing really well right now with the Argos, signing all those players, and I don't know how he is managing that, but hopefully we get a season off this year. Going kind of the other way, was there a player that you were nervous to play against on another team during your time?
Yeah, there would always be a few, because the reality of pro sports is you come out of college and you might have been there for 4 years, but guys are in the pro game for 6, 7, 10 years, and they've been all-stars, and they've won at the college level, and now they're there. I can't remember the player's name, but there was a player that he played for at Hamilton. He was a defensive end. I had to go and I had to block him. I was a running back. This guy had won the strongest man in the NFL competition, and I'm a rookie, and I'm going up against them, right? So that was one. We played another guy, a Canadian guy, actually, Glenn Kulka, who was another like beast, and I had to play against him, and he was tough. Another guy too, Greg Battle, was a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, I guess, and he wasn't a big guy. He was probably about 210, but he was an agile boy, and he was tricky. So I went out to block him this one time, and I went to low block him, and he jumped over me, and he tackled the quarterback. I was like, oh shoot, you know this. So yeah, he was probably the one that was the trickiest.
Okay. And then I guess we'll lead into how you came to terms with ending your career. Obviously, it's always difficult maybe walking away from pro sports rather than another line of work. How was that for you?
Yeah, it's disappointing. You want to achieve great things, and you want to play, and you want to have that sort of storybook bit. I had torn my bicep, and I was having a real hard time rehabbing it. I was so weak that I was having trouble like lifting 5 pounds, and the Argonauts had seen that, and they, so I got released, and I contemplated, or my agent actually had called me up, and I had a few other teams that were interested, but I said, like, I wanted to play pro. I wanted to prove that I could play, and I know I can. And for a lot of Canadians, you'll play a couple of years and you'll sort of be like a backup player, and then you'll kind of come into your own. And I could have continued. I would have continued if it was in Toronto, but at that point I had sort of gotten into my line of business. I'm in fitness now, and I had family here, and I thought, you know what? I'm not super injured. I've got, a small injury. I see people walk away from the game with crippling injuries. And I walked away from the game sort of, maybe not completely on my terms, but I didn't feel terrible about it.
Right. And then from your injury and going into fitness, did that affect how you work, or were you have you gone into a path looking at how to rehab and how to prevent those type of injuries, or how to repair those type of injuries at all?
Yes, the fitness industry, the fitness business I have right now, Advantage for Athletes, we work with not just athletes, but we work with a ton of athletes, and we have a therapy clinic. So there is there are chiropractors, physiotherapists, athletic therapists, massage therapists, people like that. And we do deal with a lot of athletes who have been injured. And obviously I do the fitness end, where you're working either with athletes or general population to sort of get them their performance goals or fitness goals or whatever. But one of the things that really helped me to understand was sort of the psyche, the discouragement. For example, we had this one player. She was a volleyball player. She was in grade 11 or 12. She was looking at having a scholarship. She blew her knee out, and she was devastated. She had some offers before to go down south. Those offers were pulled off the table. But, she fought through it. She actually sent a highlight video to every single NCAA institution, like I think over 300 Division I, and got a couple. But, just the perseverance and the not giving up, I realized that the athletes can really, or anybody for that matter, someone has a knee replacement and they don't think that they can go back to life kind of as it was before, but just to tell them that, you just put your best forward, you work like you can get back, and a lot of times you do.
And going off of that, being an athlete specifically and playing in the CFL, were there lessons that you've learned then from there that have adapted into your life now?
It was the most competitive situation I've ever been in, going to college. Going to pro sport. In college, it was like you make the team and, you're on the team and you can kind of go through the depth chart and try to get up to the top. But pro sports, you get cut and you don't get another chance unless you're lucky, and then you might get another chance with another team. So I learned to be okay with being uncomfortable. I learned to be okay with competing. To be okay with uncertainty. Like you fly across the country, you don't know where you're going to stay, you don't have a place to live, you don't know the people on the team, you don't know the coaches, you don't know what the drills are, you don't know anything. And you just have to, I learned in life, you have to be okay with, look at what we're going through right now with the pandemic, and a lot of people it might be the biggest change they've had in their life. So many things are different right now, but that helped me for situations like this, where I have to say I'm pretty comfortable with not knowing what's going to happen next, and just kind of feeling like I'm going to be okay.
And then going from there and going to CFL specifically, was there anything did your perspective of the league change at all after playing from before what you initially started playing with the CFL?
Yeah, it did quite a bit. I had a real respect for not only the players, but the management, the coaching staff of the league. I think people who probably don't understand the sport, they think maybe the NFL is such a superior league. It really isn't. There are so many jobs in the NFL and so many jobs in the CFL, and people have to go someplace. A lot of the players that play in the CFL could play in either league. it's a different league for sure. I remember we had, when I was playing with the Argonauts, we had a linebacker who was a starting linebacker for the Miami Dolphins the year before, had gotten injured, so he got cut. Chris Gaines, he came to the CFL, and with the CFL, there's some differences. So one difference is you don't have as much time between plays. You got to be fitter. Another difference, it's a bigger field. You got to be able to run. So he came, and the other thing too with the CFL, the smaller rosters, so you've got to be able to do everything well. It's not just a run specialist where you come in for 2 downs and then you go out and the pass specialist comes in. You got to be able to defend the run. You got to be able to defend the pass. If you're a running back, you got to run, you got to catch, you got to block, right? So anyway, with Chris Gaines, what happened was he was cramping up on the sideline. Like, he was not used to having to, because in the NFL, he'd go in for 2 downs, he would stop the run, and then he'd come out, and a guy who was better at pass coverage would come in, but he couldn't do that here. Not only that, he had to be on specialty teams. So they had him on the sideline, like he cramped up, he couldn't go back in the game. He actually had to drop, I think he was maybe about 250 pounds. He had to drop 20 pounds so he could play because he was getting killed. You know, and then there were so many examples of other players. Dexter Manley, I think, was a pass rusher in the NFL that had led the leagues in sacks, came to the CFL, couldn't do it, couldn't adjust to being a yard off the ball. So it's not one is better than the other. It's, you might have, if you're fast, if you can cover, if you got good cardio, you can play in the CFL. You probably can play in the NFL too. But if you don't have that, you can't play this game.
And then my last question for you would be, playing in the CFL and being a professional athlete at that point in your life, has that affected you from a family standpoint and being a father, and then also in your work as well with your fitness that you do?
Yeah, all of those experiences really help to enrich your life. When I went out to BC, it was the first time I was really away from home. I was in Toronto. I went to university in Toronto, so I hadn't really been on my own away from family, and you miss them, and you really cherish them too. It also gave me the perspective of how important family is, and with my children now, just how it would be to be sort of out of your element and judged. One of the things about pro sport is you've got to be okay with people writing bad things about you or saying things about you or commentating, or fans, in the stands or whatever. And people get sort of emotionally into it. And I think most athletes who are successful learn to sort of compartmentalize it, and it doesn't bother them too much. It's just kind of part of the game. It's kind of like crowd noise. So one of the big things with kids, obviously, is especially during the teen years, they really worry about what other people think. The social aspect is massive for them. So this was kind of like being a teenager, going out and having, all the voices in the background. So you really learn to empathize.
The first one is better uniform, Lions or the Argos?
Argos.
One player you wish you got the chance to play with?
Doug Flutie.
The player you most admired?
Pinball.
Sports hero growing up?
Bo Jackson.
And then lastly, your best football memory?
Scoring that touchdown that I told you about. And not having to take my equipment off on the field.
Perfect. Thanks so much again for talking to me, Lauren, and letting me ask you about your career. And it was really a pleasure talking to you.
Great, you're welcome, and it was fun. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for watching and listening to our first episode with former BC Lion and Toronto Argonaut Lauren King. Stay tuned for our next episode.
good second. Well,